Welcome back to Incredible Conversations, beautiful soul. On this episode, we are talking about how to use social media with intention. Take a big old deep breath. Big deep breath into the belly, into the lungs, expand the ribs out. Hold it for a moment and exhale and let it go. I know that I cannot be the only one out there who has ever gotten lost in the sauce of social media. I 1000% admit to being imperfect in this area of life. I can still get lost in scrolling and watching some videos that are not aiding in my knowledge base and consuming versus creating, and also getting blocked and upset by a lack of boundaries, with forgetting my why, for being out of alignment when using social media and why I'm on there in the first place. And all of these things added up truly, truly, truly affect our mental health and how we operate on a day-to-day basis. It's really scary. But now we are morphing and basically chameleoning to other people online, from the smoothies they make, to the words they say, to the philosophies they hold. We are putting patches on ourselves of other people, and it's not our true identity. God knows I've done it in the past. And since I've agreed and set this intention to work online as a personal trainer, a mentor, to have services online, to have a membership online, to have remote training that's online, and I use videos to help others see the movement process. Whew. It's been a journey because I can completely lose myself and neglect my boundaries. I can neglect being a creator. I can neglect setting a timer and using my time wisely and being proud of the effort that I'm using to basically stay on task and stay focused, as well as treating it as a sacred space, because God knows that I have used that space as a comparison bottle, as a space where I don't find myself as worthy as other people doing similar work, where I do not feel as lovable or successful or on my own track, or what my path is or why I'm here, and constantly questioning that purpose of who is Isabelle? What is my identity? And so in today's episode, we're going to be unpacking all of that. And I wanted to basically speak this very quick research. So this is by Columbia Mammalian School of Public Health, and this was published Child and Adolescent Health, Mental Health on September 27th of 2021, so a little over a year ago. And the title is Just How Harmful is Social Media? Our experts weigh in. A recent investigation by the Wall Street Journal revealed that Facebook was aware that mental health risks linked to the usage of its Instagram app, but kept those findings secret. Internal research by the social media giant found that Instagram worsened body image issues for 1 in 3 teenage girls, and all teenage users of the app linked it to the experiences of anxiety and depression. It isn't the first evidence of social media's harms. Watchdog groups have identified Facebook and Instagram as avenues for cyberbullying, and reports have linked TikTok to dangerous and antisocial behavior, including a recent spate of school vandalism. That says enough in itself. And this always is going to have two sides of every coin, because we are in it. We are here. We are in an age of technology, of advancements. Yet it is up to us to draw the line in the sand as to what is a beneficial advancement for ourselves as human beings. I mean, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but there is new research out there that we are the first generation, or this population has hit the point where we are now not outliving the generation before us. So, those who are passing on these days, they are not outliving the eldest generations before them. We're declining in our lifespan, is what I'm trying to relay to y'all. And that is very scary because this is also a part of how much we spend time sitting on the computer, on our tablets, on our laptops, in meetings, and it not being in a social, physical way. It being all online. Yes, Zoom is so handy, and there are so many benefits of these things. You can be anywhere in the world, yet in the same place all at one time. It's just like time travel. It's really wild. Yet, how beneficial is it really to be this way? So, we're just going to talk about how to use it a little bit wiser, with a little bit more benefit to help protect ourselves. Because I want you to feel the best in your body. I want you to feel in control of your mind. And I want you to feel like you can regulate your own emotions without it being a comparison to someone else's life and their achievements or their amount of success, whatever it is. Because I know I've gotten lost in that sauce. So let's dive in. Today, we are going to talk about intention. So, what is intention? Intention is basically anything we intend to do. So, it's anything that we state, I'm going to do this, I'm going to follow through, I'm going to bring my focus back to this repeatedly throughout my day because this is the big marker on the board. All the little steps to get there are different, but my main focus, the focal point where the camera is going to shoot and make it so crisp and clear, is this. And a lot of times, others like to use physical steps as intentions, but I don't really like that. I don't relate with that so well because yes, you can intend to make the 12-week calendar today. And that will get finished and that will set me up and it will be great. Awesome. But what if instead we set the intention of a feeling, of a purposeful feeling that we want to continually remind ourselves that we are harnessing for the day? So anything like, I'm intending to find the joy in each moment. I intend to stay as present as possible today. I intend to not overthink. And so that's the first part. Number one, set your intention upon waking up. I like to personally match setting an intention with either meditating, setting the intention with that meditation, whether that's a sitting meditation or a walking meditation. Either work as long as you can write it down on a small piece of paper, rip it off, put it in your pocket, hold it in your hand so that you feel that piece of paper and your brain, you cognitively know what is written on there. You remember, your short-term memory is great, and then you're going to develop that into a long-term memory because you're holding it and it's getting ingrained. It's that energetic transformation happening right before our eyes. Or I write it down, I journal about it. Why is this my intention? What does it mean to not overthink, to stay focused on finding the joy in every moment? What is being present to me? Because if I cannot answer what that even means to me, how am I going to remember to get there? How am I going to even figure out how to get there? So that's step number one. Second of all, we are going to treat social media like a sacred space before we get on and after we get off. And what that is going to look like is a few different steps. One, cleansing your social media altars. So, whether that is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever y'all kids are using today, TikTok, you want to think about the elements of nature. So, the first step is cleansing your social media space. And water is typically what comes to mind for cleansing. Or you can use fire to really burn up any stagnant energy that may have been affecting your social media platform. And when we bring our awareness to cleansing a space like social media, this can look like a tweet, like legit saying, I cleanse this social media space and I intend to use it for X, Y, and Z reasons, and posting that. Whether you want to put it like as your Twitter post, I'm not on Twitter much, so that's about all I got to say there. If it's on Instagram, you can put a picture of water on your social media feed, or you can put it on your stories. You can put a little, like, you can write out your intention and put it there. And if you don't mind other people reading it, great, right on. But if you don't want people to read it, I like to go on Canva. I'm an avid Canva user. Put my water photo on there or video, and I can, have words that educate or anything, or I could teach with it and use that. But in another layer, I'm going to put another text box and I'm going to write my intention. I'm going to cleanse this space. I cleanse this digital altar, and I am now going to set this intention. And I'm going to put that transparency to 0 so no one can see it, but it's still there. And I know it's there. And that is the main point behind the cleanse of the altar. So using water or fire is a great choice. Earth and air, you could find a different meaning and also use those elements. That's all up to you on how you want to use that cleansing space, that cleansing subject. And this is something that I learned from the group Holisticism. They're fabulous, they're amazing, they're a little witchy space online, and they teach everyone all about how to be a badass, magical human being using social media, creating whatever they create, and how to be a baddie. And so these few tips I'm about to share and the cleansing tip, this is what I learned from them. And it's so valuable. It needs to be passed on. It changed how I use social media. And so, one, you cleanse. Two, of this, treating it like a sacred space, treating social media as you would treat an altar in real life. That's what we're going for here. And if you don't know what an altar is, let me back up and just basically say it is a space in your home that you set up and you give for your practices. So maybe you meditate in front of it, maybe you pray in front of it, maybe you just spend some time to give offerings on this altar. You set up your crystals, your water, different pieces of the elements: rock, air, water, fire. You have a candle, maybe you have some photos of loved ones or ancestors or pieces of your lineage. Maybe you have manifestations that you wish to bring to fruition. Whatever it is that you want to put on this altar, it's your sacred space to do so. And so it's basically the same for online, but it can be different and it can always change, and we clean up the energy because we don't want to just leave it and never touch it again. Stagnant energy builds, just like chi in the body. Chi is everywhere in the world. So we want to make sure that we are flushing the chi through constantly. And another way to do this is to cast spells on your posts, basically, is to use emojis as sigils. And sigils, as defined on the internet, is an inscribed or ancient symbol considered to have magical power. So, very magical use of social media is what we're talking about. Setting the intention, treating it like a sacred space, creating your altar, cleansing it, using emojis, casting spells by either writing them so people can read them because you're like, yeah, I'm a witch and I'm powerful and this is what is up. Or making the words completely transparent so no one else can read them, but they get blessed simply by being on the Instagram or the social media that you're using it for. And the last part of this that I want to hit on for treating it like a sacred space is aligning with why you're posting. Why are you putting up what you're putting up? What is the archetype that you are embodying by posting what you're posting? Is it in alignment with your message? Are you posting for the hell of it because you're just a consumer and you don't post often, but it's just for the family, close friends, college, high school friends? Or are you a business? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you someone who is an influencer or wants to create a brand by bringing themselves through the content? Well, you're probably going to have a little bit of strategy in that mix. However, always knowing why you're posting what you're posting is crucial, and not losing your mental energy and capacity to this illusionary world. This is some fucking 5D stuff because it's not real. It's not real. Yes, it can teach us things, and yes, it's entertaining, and yes, people take their time to make the content, record it, all the things. But once it is out in the ethers, is it even real? I don't know, but that's my belief. That's what I think. I'm like, I can't touch this. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that is step 2 in intention. Treat it like a sacred space. Cleanse, use emojis and sigils as spells. Cast spells using your words, making them transparent or not. Then making sure that whenever you get on the app, aligning with what you're posting, because it's crucial and it's key to staying healthy in your brain. Cognitive function. Yes. I'm going to take a sip of matcha. Delicious. Third step, set a timer and reward yourself for the amount of effort it took you to follow through with your task, with what you were focusing on. So, example, set a timer for 15 minutes. Always set it for less than what you think because your brain wants to get those dopamine hits. And there's already an association with Instagram, social media, Twitter, Facebook being a place to receive dopamine hits, which is horrible as it is now. So let's rewire this and let's find the dopamine hit from the effort that we are putting into staying focused on the task, because this is going to help you stay on track, be timely, not lose yourself in the mess. Heck, even if you can get an assistant, 10 out of 10 recommend. And if you are that assistant, here you go. But really making sure that you're timing yourself like a professional would for their tasks, because it can be so easy to lose ourselves between personal use and professional use of social media. I know I struggle with that. I know I'm not the only one who struggles with that. And if you don't, teach me your ways. Teach me how you're better than me at this, because I could use it. But this is these little tips, this is what I got so far. And they've been working. They've been helping. And so, you set your timer for less than what you think you need, and then really ground down into the focus of what you're posting. Maybe you're reaching out to people, maybe you're networking, maybe you're finding other people in your niche or in your realm of work that you want to jive with, find inspiration from. Utilize trending sounds so that you can get seen by more faces in more places, and use it wisely. And if you need another 5 minutes, 10 minutes, guess what? You get to reward yourself for the effort that you're going to put in for those next 5 minutes, because that timer is going to reset your focal point and it's going to remind you, like, hey, you kind of got off track in those last 15 minutes. Now we're going to penalize you by only giving you another 5 minutes. You only have 5 minutes to finish whatever you were doing. No making it perfect, no making it smooth, no making it streamlined, unless you were like basically done. Just get it out there. That's it. Bada bing, bada boom. Done. And that has been a huge help in my world. The timers, the focal points, seeing my effort as the product of dopamine hit versus building stimulus up before I get to going online and then having to build the stimulus up after I go online. It's just a cycle that can cause wasted time, excuses, and misuse of effort. So that's number 3. Number 4, we roll into determine what feels better between answering the question, this magical question: are you a consumer or are you a creator? And I want you to just think about this in your brain. Do you use social media for entertainment, to stay connected to friends and family? Do you use it to post here and there, but not super frequently? Do you post because it is a distraction from what you're doing in your real world? Is it a happier place to be? Or are you using it because you run a business, you have education you're putting out, you are looking for new clientele, you want outreach, you want to network, you have a goal you're trying to hit? Which one are you? I found this really fascinating article by Mr. Infinite online. I'll put in the show notes. I'll also put the research paper that I read off in the beginning. And whew, this might rattle your bones. This might uncrack the can of worms, but I love to do that and make people squirm. I love to make myself squirm. I like to face the cold hard facts of where I don't feel like I'm meeting myself to my highest intention, to my highest success. Because if anyone's gonna call me out, it's gonna be me. I am going to call myself out before my pride lets anyone else call my ass out for anything. And I'm not sure if that's just me being a double Leo and really intense about other people not calling me out on my own shit or what. But this is how it is. So this article, the top of the summary, this is what they talk about. So this guy lists, or this gal, I'm not sure. Mr. makes me believe one way, but in today's world, you just never know. So, whoever this is, they have 5 different little bits of this article, and it goes: creators find work fulfilling, consumers hate it. Creators spend time wisely, consumers spend time on entertainment. Creators take initiative, consumers act when they have to. Creators focus on winning, consumers focus on creators. Creators have a definite aim, consumers live aimlessly. And the words that this article writes is, I mean, it's really straightforward, so I love it. I'll take the gut punch. I'm not afraid. But in the first one, creators thrive off over delivering, consumers avoid it. This is largely because creators structure their lives around their personal strengths instead of taking what they can get, in quotations. Such a gap emerges out of the degree of trust a person has in him or herself. Wow, isn't that just right there? The degree of trust a person has in themselves. Golly, ain't that the dang truth? Because if you don't trust yourself, you probably aren't going to believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, how are you ever going to take action towards your goals with a direct and realistic mindset? Because if you're not realistic about it, it's all just living in your fantasy. Or it's not even living in your fantasy and it's on the back burner. And you don't even believe that it deserves to become something real. And it will always live in the realm of illusion because it's not in the 3D world. So it's really, really, really kind of straightforward. And I haven't read through all of it, so I'm not sure if I'll agree with all of it. But just reading the first few lines was like, damn, all right, this is really true. Just the subtitles or the titles he has for each column. So, does it feel better if you find your work fulfilling? Or does it feel better to hate your work but show up anyways? And I'm asking this on the realist level. I started to do what I do now, which is personal training, coaching, mentoring, finding athletes who want to optimize their energy, their nutrition, how they perform, and getting into the nitty gritty of their own sport because I did not like having a set salary for myself or not even a salary. I've never had a salary job, let's be honest. I've always been paid hourly. And I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of getting paid 15 bucks an hour to teach children how to ski. At a max, I would get paid 120 bucks a day. A max a day. That is not going to accrue to very much in a short amount of time, in a long amount of time. For 3, 4, 5 years, I was making under $25,000 a year. Y'all, I know how to live very, very low key and minimally. And I had that belief within me that money was evil, money was bad, success was bad, the wealthy are assholes. That's not true. None of that is true. Those are projections, those are scarcity mindset thoughts, and those are not understanding what wealth is and how to accrue it and how I can accrue it in my own way, with my own offerings, with my own attitude, with my own brand, whatever. And so that is a big thought, a big discretion within yourself that you get to come to and make a choice about. And it's okay if you love working for someone else and you love working under management or whatever the case. I'm talking about if you hate what you do, there's something that needs to be, that gets to be turned upside down so that you can love it. Because y'all, you ain't gonna be in this physical form forever. Your soul is eternal. So there really is no death process. You're just gonna land in a new body. You're gonna forget everything. And so you're gonna keep going on and on and on. But if you want to make the most of this life right here and right now with what you're doing, well, first is first that you fall in love with your life as it is in this moment. No matter how shitty it is, no matter what you've gone through, no matter what you're going through, you find a way, you put your focus on where you want to be. I learned this. I learned that this victim mentality of focusing on what we don't want because it's what we're living in and we hate it so much and the feelings are there and it's not bypassing your emotions. You know all of that is there. You don't need to keep reiterating it to yourself. It's the obvious. Am I right? So you start to practice and emulate where you want to go, who you want to be. You start dressing like who you want to be. You start talking like who you want to be. You start taking action like who you want to be. Before you know it, you are who you want to be because you've always been that person. You've always been that person. So you just got to have that faith and that trust. You got to find that way out. If you already know that you're sick and tired of this way of being, you will find a way. And it's all up to you. All up to you. You. And so, number 2, let's talk about this one. Creators spend time wisely. Consumers spend time on entertainment. We already talked about this. Set a timer, reward yourself for the effort that you had focus. Keep going. That is what a creator does. If they're going to record an educational class, they record it, they post it up, they blog about it, they get it out there. There's some kind of system that they use. Maybe they have assistants that help them. Maybe they have automation. Maybe they just have a way that they do it that's timely, that's effective. They have certain days and certain times that they do these recordings, and then they edit, and then they post it on a certain day. And that is how they create a schedule. And then that schedule becomes fruitful for them monetarily or through influencing or whatever the heck. And that is how a creator can spend their time wisely with structure, with routine, with repetition, with setting their mind to something and doing it and getting it done. Like this podcast. I have to record this podcast for this podcast to be released right now because I had a lot of different things come up in my schedule this past week. I did not record my podcast on Wednesday at 12 o'clock. That is when I normally record the podcast for the week ahead. And if I'm really feeling like a bad bitch, I record 2 or 3 podcasts in the same day. And it's all up to different clients, the schedules we create, when we're going to meet, and if I have anything else on my plate that needs to get done in that moment. While consumers spend time on the entertainment, which is not bad. Like if you do something else with your life and you love a certain couple on YouTube or someone on Instagram or whatever, and you go and you learn from them, wonderful, great. But it's all up to you to determine what level of your life you're using your energy, you're paying with your time, because we have a finite time in this world, in this one body. So you only have so much of it. That little time teller with the glass that's big on one end gets really skinny and then bigger on the other end. Yeah, that's a thing. That is real. That's happening on all of us. We don't know where we are with our timer because the universe, whoever you believe is in the sky, whatever you commend to, whatever the case you have faith with, they, them, it, whatever, there's a determined daytime place that you will pass, that you will start again. And it's kind of relieving to not have to worry about that anymore. It's all taken care of. So just do what you can right now so that you can make your effort go into effect and you can use your time exactly how you want to because you devoted it to what you wanted to do. And then you started to make a living off of it. And then all these opportunities came. And then you started to do something that was really fun and happy. Trust me, 10 minutes on TikTok, watching people and laughing isn't horrible. But it's when we're 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Oh, I'm just going to keep watching this and neglect my homework. Oh, I'm going to neglect showing up on that call. Oh, I'm going to not really give myself the time of day because I'm too busy consuming from this. That is where that line gets a little weird. Next, we go on to creators take initiative. Consumers act when they have to. This is basic. I basically spoke on it just now. Creators take the initiative to decide what they are going to do each and every day. In 2020, we saw hundreds, if not thousands or millions of people take their lives from nothing to something because they saw an opportunity. They realized what was happening, that everyone was going on social media way more than usual, and they were ready to devote to themselves and create the life that they wanted. There are 2 people that come hot to my mind, and it's really fascinating to go back to 2020, watch them start what they're doing. One is a couple that teaches yoga that I love and I practice with on YouTube, and they have grown to 2 million plus subscribers in 2 years. Another is a guy my age who started to invest in stocks and learn about the stock market and then learn about getting investments, making money, cryptocurrency, all those things. And then is now like a super crazy big person in Airbnb arbitrage. And so I'll mention their names. The couple that I watch on YouTube, it's Breathe and Flow, Breathe and FLO. And then the guy, oh, what's his name? Well, he's Mr. Wise Guy or Mr. 4 to 8 because he was up from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. working and then had the rest of the day off. And it blows my mind how they devoted themselves in that way for 2 years, took it upon themselves to take opportunity by the balls and make something of their lives. They became financially free. Whereas consumers act when they have to. Oh, I have to go do the laundry. Oh, I have to go make this meeting. Oh, I have to go have this talk with the boss. Oh, I have to do this paperwork. And they wait for the work to be given to them. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with this, and there's nothing right with being a creator. But this is my take, being in highly motivated, highly goal-oriented person, which if you're listening to this, you might also be that way. Or you just really like gut punches. And you're like, Isabelle, I can't take anymore. Honey, you can always hop off the podcast, but I commend you for listening because you probably want to grow and you probably want to become someone who is devoted and financially free in their own way and just fucking happy to be living this life and not worried, right? Like, that's my goal. That's where I'm headed. That's the train. We're on the train. We're going that way. So, we have two more. We're almost done with the podcast, actually. So we have creators focus on winning, consumers focus on creators, which is really funny. And I can often get stuck in a weird comparison with this one. So, winning, no one else is in your way. You are going to do whatever you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, monetarily can to increase your likelihood of getting enough practice, getting enough education, getting enough recovery time, whatever it is, whatever avenue you are in, whether you're an athlete or a professional or an entrepreneur or an engineer or whatever it is. Like, if you're going to be a creator who is winning, you're going to find that avenue, devote to it, and not let anything obstruct your view or get in your way or slow you down or stop you from following your routine or that 12-week plan that you've set in motion so that you can become consistent about what you're passionate about. Whereas consumers are waiting for the creators to post the next video or the next yoga flow or the next cryptocurrency, what should I do, how should I buy, whatever it is. Or they're judging them, or they're comparing their lives to theirs, or they're looking down on creators like, psh, this guy always doing this shit, but yo, you're the one going back and watching that person's content. Yet you're shitting on them. Probably because there's jealousy or envy, or you want to learn, but you have a weird pride thing, or you don't think you're good enough, and you feel like this person is better than you, or that person is better than you, whatever the case. And it's just not true. So it's about healing yourself, going through the acknowledging, accepting, like acknowledging, feeling, accepting, forgiving, recreating, and then believing. And you do that all over again and over again and over again, a couple hundred times until it's finally set in stone and you feel better about yourself. That is what I did, and I'm still doing. I'm not perfect at this. I have friends that I'll see their posts and I'll get a little twingy about it. I'll get a little jealous. I'm like, Isabelle, why are you feeling this way? And I'll name off why. And there's always a deeper root, and it's never about them, and it's always about me. And it's like, no, like, we are not in the mindset of girls having to compete against one another. We are women supporting women. We're boss babes. We are in this journey hand in hand together. No one is competing against each other because there's no lack in opportunity here. That's all false. So it's having the awareness on how to come back to your true self. And last but not least, creators have a definite aim, consumers live aimlessly. So, what comes to my mind is an Oprah story. And she is talking, given this speech, and she speaks about how she had this boyfriend, and he's like, "Baby, let's go for a drive." She's like, "Where are we going?" And he'd say, "I don't know. We're just gonna drive." And she would always get mad and frustrated because she wanted to know where they were going. What's the end goal? What are we getting from this? What are we gonna see? What is this gonna add to our lives? And this resonates for me deeply because I can't stand not knowing where I'm going, not knowing what the outcome is, why we're doing something, what's the purpose behind it, what's the benefit, how is this going to excel where I'm going. I have such a hunger for leaving a legacy in this lifetime that I really can't stand not knowing what's going to happen next. And not in a freaky control manner, but in the initiative, active, goal orientated matter of like, I got a plan and I know, like, I have things that I get to do. And if I'm not putting time to them, like, my time is money, my time is energy, my time is infinite. Where am I going to excel? Like, how am I going to use this? I gotta be thinking 3 steps ahead. And it has to make me feel good. If I'm not feeling good from this, I'm not going to go waste my time. If I don't like a movie within the first 10 minutes, I'm shutting it off. I'm not wasting my time in that movie. If I go to the movie theater and I get a ticket, even and I paid for that ticket, whatever. I donated my money. I'm going to get the fuck out of there. And that is that. You got to be, and that's going to tie in with the very last bit of intentional social media use, which is having boundaries. Yes. So, what are boundaries? Boundaries are when you go within yourself and you become clear about what is allowed into your energetic aura space and what is not. And you got to know when a boundary is there for a purpose, you're healing something, you're not letting people in, you're saying no more, or you're saying yes more. Whatever it is that you need to do, versus it being a boundary because it's comfortable, maybe you're being lazy, or it's just like, no, I want to be stubborn and I want to be this, that, and the other way. So there's a better way to have a boundary and a not so beneficial way to have a boundary. And so if it's pushing you to grow, if it's a little uncomfortable to have this boundary, that's when I say it's healthy. And if it's not uncomfortable anymore, you probably don't need it. You've learned your lessons, you've figured it out, and the people around you have probably figured it out as well. And you don't need to reinforce them anymore. It's just a part of who you are. Because, and you don't need to remember it because it's already in your awareness. So that's how I see boundaries. And you can have this with how much time you spend, what days of the week you go on, what times you post at. Taking the time to create your content in bulk if you have a business or you want to be an influencer or you're just wanting to post consistently or you have something you want to share because you love to share and educate. Like, go at it, have at it, let it fly with the wind, and have your boundaries. Know why you're on social media. Don't let it draw up emotions of comparison because what's that going to do for you? Or frustration, anger, trolling. What is that doing for you? Like, anytime I get negativity on any platform, there's something in me that is out of alignment. Like, what was I feeling when I posted that thing? Did I bless the space? Did I send blessings out to the world when I posted that? Was I hoping that whoever got it was blessed with positive energy? Like, whatever your jam is, Like it's always coming back to you. And I think that's something y'all know if you're a frequent listener. So, one more time, we'll recap. Using social media with intention. One, you set your intention. Set it. Set it. What do you want to feel? What do you want to come back to as your focal point and the purpose for your why of this action, of this embodiment, of this following through with for the action? And then two, treat it like a sacred space, an altar. It's a digital altar. Thank you, Holisticism. Again, go check them out on Instagram. They're great. They're fabulous. Cleanse your space, cleanse your altar. Use sigils, use emojis as magical, powerful symbols to cleanse, to relay messages. You can have I am love, light, peace. And instead of typing I am love, light, peace, you use emojis to show that as sigils. Bada bing, bada boom. You're a witch, my friend. You're a witch, Harry. You're a wizard, Harry. I had that wrong. And you'll cast your spells, whether you make them transparent or you cast them for all to read. And then you align with why you're posting. What's your feeling behind it? What do you want other people to feel when they come up to your digital creation? Because you're a creator, baby. Put it out there with love, with feeling good, prosperity. And then set a timer. Reward yourself for the effort that it took for you to follow through with focus. 4, determine what feels better, being a consumer or being a creator. And 5, having your boundaries in place. Sitting with yourself for a solid 30 minutes, maybe 15, and being in a quiet space, maybe putting on some jazzy music, no words, and what are my boundaries? What do I get to grow with? What am I overcoming? Do I need to stop telling people yes? How can I protect my energy? What makes me uncomfortable? And how am I going to overcome being uncomfortable about it? How can I take steps of action in each and every day? Maybe it's not letting people talk to a certain way or going out with certain people anymore or putting your energy to alcohol and substances if you've had issues with them in the past. Like, whatever it is, you get to create the boundary around. Growing up, yeah. And so that's all we need to say there. And that is our episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this beneficial. Know that you are so appreciated and I love you. Thank you. If you showed up to the Conscious Alignment Method group call yesterday, because those are where I invite you to check out the space, see what we create, get the tool for the month, of course. And then if you love it, come on and join. Be in on all the action. But if not, no sweat. No pressure. Thanks for coming. So that is happening. That happened on Sunday. Happens on the first Sunday of every month. If you want to get in on the next one, send me an email, isabelle@isabellewellman.com, and we will take it from there. So I appreciate you. I'm sending you all prosperity energy. I hope that you had a spooky Halloween.